Hey, what's happening, everybody? What's good? It's your boy Jason Buff back at it again. Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm on vacation this week. I'm relaxing, chilling, hanging out. Yeah. Where did I go for my vacation, you ask? Nowhere. I'm in nice, snowy Chicago right now. That's right. There's a fucking blizzard outside. Snow. Yeah. And I'm not really on vacation either. Now, what happened was, that fucking grocery store I was working at, they terminated the contract with the security company I work with. They decided to go with a different security company. Yeah, it happens. This kind of thing happens all the time in security. It's like a contract expires and then the client decides whether to renew the contract or not. If they don't renew it, they'll just go with a different company. So that's what happened. They was complaining about the company that I'm with, that they were like unprofessional. They don't respond to phone calls. Then there was a lot of guards calling off, not showing up to work. And when that happens, the managers, they're supposed to send in replacement guards to fill in those empty spots. But a lot of times they wouldn't do that. So a guard calls off, nobody shows up. It'll just be no guard there. So the store, they was pissed off about that. And I can understand. They pay all that money for us, and then they don't show up. So they're like, what are we paying you for? You guys aren't doing your job. So yeah, they went with a different company. I don't give a shit. I'm relieved. I'm so happy to be out of that fucking store. I've been talking about that shit for months. I've been wanting to leave that store since like September, and it finally happened. A little prematurely, but I don't give a fuck. I was hoping to leave on my own terms and be like, fuck you guys, I don't need you, kiss my ass. But leaving this way is fine, I don't care. I'm off work for a week, hopefully a couple of weeks. This gives me an opportunity to go do other stuff, go pursue other opportunities. Tomorrow I got an interview with Planet Fitness. I'm pretty sure that'll go well. I got to talk about what happened first at the grocery store my last day. Oh, I was so happy. Like I filmed a TikTok video in the store of me just dancing, doing some kind of Latin salsa dance. I filmed it, put it on TikTok. It's actually my most popular video on TikTok right now. I was fucking dancing like right in front of the uh cash register aisles. What do you call that shit? The checkout lines. I was right there in front of checkout, just dancing in front of everybody. I don't fucking care. So yeah, I was happy about that. It was such a relief. And then I went into the break room. One of my homies in there was this cool dude that worked in the deli section. This older gentleman, he's like in his 50s and bald. He's got bad posture. He's got a bunch of kids, but he was a cool dude. Me and him click instantly because he's into the same video games I'm in. All these old ass video games from the 90s. So I was sitting in the break room, sitting at the table, playing my Nintendo Switch as usual. Then he came up to me and gave me some peanut butter cookies. He was like, "Hey man, have some cookies." And then like before he even finished talking, I grabbed the cookies. I was like, "Oh man, you got me some cookies. That's nice, man. That's real nice." And I took one of the cookies, put them in my mouth, and bit into it. He was like, "Wait, wait, wait. There's weed in that cookie. Spit it out." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Seriously, there's weed in the cookie. You gotta spit it out now." I thought he was joking, but he was for real. So I ended up spitting out the cookie, but a little bit of it got digested. But yeah, it was a big relief spitting out that cookie. I dodged a missile on that one. But like a couple of hours later, I started to feel it a little bit. Like my eyes were burning. That's how you know you got some weed in you. If you're a little high, you'll feel it in the eyes. So I was at work a little high, a a little buzzed. Oh, what a way to go out on my last day high at work. Yeah, so he gave me some of those cookies like to take with me home. He was supposed to sell them to somebody, but the person he was supposed to sell them to didn't show up, so he ended up just giving me the cookies for free. So after I got off work and went home, I ate another cookie. Dude, I was high as fuck. I don't know what he put in those cookies, but man, that was like the highest I've ever been in my life. So now that's the thing I'm worried about. Like when I have this interview with Planet Fitness, is like after I pass the interview, it's like the drug test is gonna be a motherfucker. Like, what am I gonna do about that? Like, oh. So I think I'm fucked already. I'm not worried about the interview. That's nothing. I can ace that. As long as you can connect with the interviewer, like if you can click like immediately, then it's like you got the job. All you gotta do is just charm their pants off and you got the job. Even if you're not qualified for the job. If you can charm their pants off, you got it. So I'm not worried about the interview. It's the damn drug test. Like, oh, I hate this shit. Just when I'm trying to go in a new direction, somebody fucked it up for me already. Oh. So, Alright, anyways. Alright, this episode I wanted to talk about urban legends and folklore. It's something I've always been fascinated with. So I'm gonna debunk a bunch of myths on this episode. Debunk a lot of folklore and urban legends. Because a lot of people are thinking this stuff is true, but it's not. I won't be able to get to all the urban legends. I know I'm going to miss a bunch of them. There's going to be a lot of stuff missed out. I'll probably make another episode, eventually a sequel. Yeah, I just want to do this. Yeah, I've always been fascinated with folklore. Like, one of my favorite books is 1001 Arabian Nights. You know, the one with Aladdin in it and Ali Baba and Sinbad and I don't know the rest. There's a bunch of dudes in there. Open Sesame, all that shit. But a lot of these stories, even though they're stories, there's a little bit of truth in them. It's like that with just about any like story in general or any horror story. It's based on a little bit of fact. Like Dracula, he was inspired by a real person. He was based on a real person. Everybody knows this by now. He was based on a dude called Vlad the Impaler, who supposedly killed thousands of people by impaling them with like some big ass stick. He was like a army commander, military general or some shit. He was protecting Romania from the invading Turks. So his enemies demonized him and villainized him. They made up all these stories that he killed a lot of people and drank their blood. So that's where Bram Stoker got the idea for Dracula. And then with Frankenstein, some of that was inspired by true events. In the 1800s, there was like scientists doing medical experiments on dead bodies by electrocuting them. They were trying to bring the bodies back to life with bolts of lightning. They didn't bring anyone back to life. The bodies just wiggled and jiggled for a few seconds. That was it. Then the Wolfman, he was inspired by real people. Not by actual werewolves, but there's some kind of medical condition where people are hairy. Like hairier than average. Like their whole face, their whole bodies will be covered in hair. And people see these hairy people and they be like, it's a werewolf. So that's where the legend of werewolves came from. It came from hairy people. What else? What else am I talking about? Oh yeah. Then the legend of dragons. Another mythical creature, dragons. That was inspired by dinosaur fossils. Like, like thousands of years ago, our ancestors, different people, they like found all these T-Rex fossils in the ground. They never seen nothing like that before. They were like, what is this shit? It's a big ass lizard skull. And so that's where the myth of dragons came from. Also in Europe, like during medieval times, like a bunch of European explorers like went to Africa and like grabbed a bunch of stuff and took it back to Europe. They took a bunch of stuff back to Europe. One of those things they took back to Europe was a crocodile. So a fucking European explorer, he brought a crocodile to Europe, brought it into one of the kingdoms, and the crocodile got loose and started running around biting people. And people back then, they never seen nothing like that before. They was like, what is this beast? What is this creature? So it was a fucking dragon. So that's how another myth of dragons got started. All right. Yeah. I could just talk about random shit all day long. Like, did you know the movies Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre were all inspired by the same story? Yeah. The real story was it was this crazy motherfucker in Wisconsin named Ed Gein. He would kill people and make clothes out of their dead bodies. Like he would make leather products out of dead bodies and shit. He only killed 2 people, but then like I think they said he collected dead bodies too. Like he would steal bodies from the morgue and then like make clothes out of them. Gross. It really is. All right. Okay, and I'm gonna talk about these other myths too. Sorry to break it to you kids, but the Loch Ness Monster is not real. There's no lake monster of any kind anywhere in the world. There just isn't. Well, because for a big ass animal in the sea to survive, it's gonna have to be in an ocean. It's gonna need a lot of space. It's not gonna be able to survive in a fucking lake. That's not enough space. It's not deep. It's not the girth is not as wide as it should be. They got to be in the ocean. It's like the same thing with those big ass whales in SeaWorld. They don't live that long in the tank because they don't have much space in there. They're like all cramped up and shit. So yeah, it's the same with sea monsters. If there were sea monsters, they would be in the ocean, not the lake. Okay, so there's no Loch Ness Monster, y'all. And the same goes for UFOs. I know. I got a tattoo of an alien on my arm. I mean, but that's a metaphor for something else. It doesn't mean I believe in aliens. The reason I got a green Martian tattooed on my arm is because sometimes I feel like an alien. Just isolated from everyone else. That's why I got that tattoo. Alright, and there's no Bigfoot either. Yeah, that's right. There's no Bigfoot. I said it. You can go in the woods, you're not going to find them. There's no 8-foot tall Sasquatch walking around in the woods. Nowhere. If there was an 8-foot tall creature that existed, he'd be in the NBA just dominating right now. Just dunking on everybody. Shaquille O'Neal ain't got nothing on Sasquatch. I mean, if he existed. So yeah, there's no 8-foot tall Sasquatch. The closest there ever came to a 8-foot tall hairy creature was this giant ape that lived thousands of years ago. Yes, folks, there was a giant ape that lived in Asia thousands of years ago. It looked just like a orangutan, but it was much bigger. I forgot what it was called. It was called a Gigantopithecus. Yes, I think that's right. A gigantopithecus. Damn it. I don't know how to pronounce this shit. Gigantopithecus. Fucking Google this shit. It's a big ass orangutan, basically. They went extinct because of humans. The big ass orangutan went extinct because humans got hungry. I mean, hey, it was a different time. You know, what can I say? There was no Pizza Hut back then, no McDonald's, no microwaves, no stoves, no ovens. You know, dudes were desperate. You know, they couldn't catch those deers running. They couldn't catch a gazelle or a moose or anything. They couldn't. They didn't have no equipment to catch fish either. They didn't have no fishing rods. So they was like, fuck. I can't catch this fast ass deer over here. What am I gonna eat? I guess I'll just eat this big ass monkey over here. He's very hairy, but I can shave off that hair, you know, after I barbecue him. We could probably eat for months because this motherfucker's so huge. And that's why the giant ape went extinct. If you ask me, they should have spared the ape's life. Let him live. Like a big ass ape like that would have come in handy, like in the army. Like you could make a security guard out of him, out of that big ass ape. Nobody's gonna fuck with that giant ape because he's gonna be like Hulk smash, boom, one punch and it's over. Goddamn asshole prehistoric humans. Thanks a lot for making animals go extinct. I would have loved to seen a big ass ape up close. I mean, not too close, from a distance, but that would have been interesting. I think the ape was only 8 feet tall when it standed on its hind legs. You know, most of the time, you know, just like any ape, they don't stand on their hind legs. They like walk on their arms and shit. And then the fucking woolly mammoths went extinct because of humans. That sucks. Alright, enough about extinct animals. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about some more urban legends. Oh, there's an urban legend up here in Chicago about Resurrection Mary. The story goes it's about a woman. I think she went to a bar and got drunk. And then she ran outside and got hit by a car on the road. And then her spirit haunts the road. It haunts the cemetery where she's buried at. Like the story, it's a typical cliche urban legend story about, you know, a taxi driver or somebody picks up a hitchhiker, you know, a mysterious woman in the back seat, they're talking and shit. And then he reaches the destination. He was like, okay, time for you to get out. Now you got to pay me. And then he turns around. There's no one there. She vanishes in thin air, nothing left but cold air. Because she was a cheap ass ghost that didn't want to pay. That's what the taxi driver thought. But no, it wasn't that she was cheap. She was a fucking ghost. That's why she disappeared. But yeah, they say she haunts this cemetery called Resurrection Cemetery. It's in a suburb of Chicago called Justice, Illinois. I drove past there one time. I was on my way to a trailer park. I was going to hook up with this one chick. But then when I reached the trailer park, I started freaking out. Because the girl, she was weird. She didn't respond to her fucking phone calls. I was like parked right in front of her trailer. And then like she had like some dude in there with her. I think it was like her brother. And it's weird. It's like, how am I going to hook up with a chick in a trailer? And her family's right there watching. Like, this is weird. I'm getting out of here. So yeah, that's like my only encounter with that cemetery. Okay, then or another urban legend I like is it's the one called Kuchi Saka Ona. Uh, Excuse me. It was about the story goes it was like this woman during feudal Japan era times. During the samurai times, it was a woman. She was married to a samurai. And then the samurai was a jealous husband. He accused his wife of cheating. And then he slashed her face. He slit her face from ear to ear, so it looks like she has a big ass smile on her face. And then the story goes that like this bitch with a big ass slash on her face, she walks around Japanese villages terrorizing children. She'll go up to children. She'll have like a mask on her face, like that. Like what that surgeon mask, like like the mask everybody was wearing during the fucking pandemic, those COVID masks. She wears a mask on her face. She'll go up to children and be like, "Do you think I'm pretty?" If one of the kids says no, then she stabs them with something. I forgot what she stabs them with. I think it was an umbrella. But if another kid says, "You're not ugly, you're pretty," or she'll ask another person, "Do you think I'm pretty?" And if they say yes, she'll take the mask off and show her face with the cut all over her face. And then she'll still kill the kid anyway. Crazy bitch. But yeah, she's got a big ass slash on her face, got a big ass mouth. I bet she can suck a dick real good. She can probably suck a mean dick. I bet you she could suck a mean dick. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Moving on. Then the urban legend about the berserkers. That's not true. I know a lot of you are like, what the fuck is a berserker? I was wondering the same thing until like last week. I hear that word a lot, berserker. Like I think there was a metal band called the Berserker. It's not really a band, it's just one dude just playing all the instruments. And then Keanu Reeves came out with a comic book called Berserker. I bought one issue of it. It was crazy, so I didn't buy any more issues. I forgot what it was. It was like a warrior reincarnated during different periods of time. It was a weird comic book. But yeah, the Berserkers, supposedly they were Viking mercenaries. And they were like undefeated in battle. Their enemies said they had a wild, crazy look in their eyes. And they didn't feel no pain when their enemies attacked them. They would just keep going. You could shoot a bow and arrow at them, that won't stop them. Cutting them with a sword, that wouldn't stop them either. They would just keep charging. And then they would just wipe out everyone. Wipe out the entire armies. So yeah, they was like, they feel no pain. And they just keep killing, just keep going. So I'm going to debunk that myth right now. No, they weren't any mythological warriors. They didn't have no supernatural powers. The reason they didn't feel no pain was because they were just high on adrenaline. That's what that was, adrenaline. Like when you're in a fight, when you're angry and pissed off, you're fighting someone, you're not going to feel that pain. You're just going to keep going, just keep fighting until you knock the dude out. You'll feel the pain later, like after the fight's over, like an hour later, then you feel the pain. That's how adrenaline works. So no, the Berserkers, they didn't have no magic powers, just adrenaline. Probably the scariest urban legends I heard was the one about the gangbanger initiations. The reason I think that's the scariest ones because it's like something that could actually happen. One of the reasons I've been fascinated with urban legends because, it's like on the verge, it's like in between reality and fiction. It's like a fictional story set in a real world. It's like a fictional story, but it could actually happen. That's what always fascinated me about urban legends. So yeah, To me, back in the day, the scariest urban legends I heard was the ones about the gangbanger initiations. Like something about the gangbangers that drive at night. They'll turn off their headlights. They'll drive in the dark, and then they'll wait for somebody to flash their lights at them. So if somebody flashes their lights to give them the signal to turn your headlights on, then the gangbangers turn their car around and chase after that person, then just shoot them. Then there was another gangbanger initiation about he was putting like anthrax on public payphones, and then like people would get sick after touching it. Yeah, that sounds made up. Nobody even uses payphones anymore. And then the last one is real scary. It was like gangbangers would go into a shopping store parking lot. They would hide under someone's car, wait till they get to the car, and then they would slash their ankles with a knife. This one kind of actually turned out to be true. There was like something similar happening over in Baltimore. There was like something about gangbangers went down into the subways, and in order to get initiated, they had to slash someone's face with a knife. I saw that on Gangland. That show that was like on the History Channel back in the day. So that one was kind of true. The reason I was scared of that because I've seen gangbangers. I've seen a lot of them in my life. They're fucking assholes. That sound like some shit they would do. They're fucking troublemakers. Ain't got nothing better to do. They ain't got no life, so they'll just fuck with people for no reason. Yeah. Alright, the last urban legends I'm going to go with on this episode. I'm going to talk about Disney urban legends. And there's a lot of them. I know I'm going to miss out on a bunch of these, but yeah, I'm going to get into some of them. They're real interesting about the different rides. Yeah, there's this one urban legend about at the Haunted Mansion ride. People will come into the Disney park with cremated ashes of their relatives, and they'll spread the ashes at Haunted Mansion. I don't know why. It's weird. But they say, yeah, that turned out to be true. That the Disney employees, they actually come in and clean the place down and wipe off the ashes because it happens so lot. It happens so much. And then at the other ride, Pirates of the Caribbean, they say at that attraction, like all those pirate skeletons that you see, those are actual real bones. So yeah, that turned out to be true. I think they replaced some of them, but there's still like real skeletons there. That's weird. Both of those rides turned into movies, bad movies at that. I think the only good Pirates of the Caribbean movie was the first one. It was alright. It was alright. And then there's all these urban legends about Disney animators putting dirty, sexy messages in their movies. There was like a movie that came out in the 70s. Was it called The Rescuers? There's like supposedly a scene of a topless woman in the movie. They just inserted it in there. Kind of like that scene from what was that movie? Fight Club. Yeah, where they was like at the beginning of the movie they're talking about putting in some sexy scenes in a fucking kids movie. Disney did do that. They said this scene's been removed. I don't think I ever seen The Rescuers. I saw the sequel, The Rescuers Down Under. I remember seeing that as a kid, but the original one I never saw it. So I don't really care. Then supposedly in The Lion King, the letters sex, sex, or it's written in the clouds. You can see it somewhere. I haven't seen The Lion King since I was a kid. Not really interested in seeing it again. I think that movie was overrated. I liked Aladdin better. And speaking of Aladdin, yeah, there's a myth in that movie about another subliminal sexy message put in there. And this one turned out to be true because I heard it like in the movie, the part where Aladdin, he's on the carpet, he goes over to Jasmine's balcony, and then like he pulls his hand out, you know, he invites Jasmine to come on the carpet for a magic carpet ride. Like around that scene, you can hear Aladdin whisper, "Take your clothes off." Now, I remember hearing that clearly in the movie. I remember seeing it on TV. I had it on DVR. And I rewinded that scene over and over. Like, did he just say what I think he did? I listened closely. He did say it. Then I got Aladdin on DVD. I think they removed it. Yeah, they removed that part, but they really did say that in the movie. Fucking pervs. Okay, I think that's about everything. I went over everything, I think. So yeah, I debunked everything. Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, UFOs, that's not real. And neither is the Boogeyman or Santa Claus. Santa Claus is not real. If you're 30 years old and you still believe in Santa Claus, that's sad. That's pitiful. People be like, Santa isn't real, and some fool be like, yeah, he is. Someone left a present under the tree for me on Christmas. That wasn't Santa who left you a present. That was your cousin. He felt sorry for your ass because nobody got you a present, so he got you something. He got you some socks for Christmas. That wasn't Santa. And no, the boogeyman isn't real. You know, motherfuckers be claiming they see him all the time. I saw the boogeyman outside walking across the street. No, you didn't. That was just a fucking crackhead. Yep. Okay, wow, damn. 32 minutes. This is my longest episode ever. Alright, folks, I gotta go. See you next time. Peace out.